dawn of the new age has arrived. We're marching on with massive life.
Welcome future with open arms. Cold circuits warm with coded charms. Bit by bit we weave and weave. In digital silk our dreams believe. In 2025 we're here. A fresh start, a path is clear. Cyber walls we're building strong. In this world where we belong. Futuristic dreams take flight. Safer bonding through. Electro beats and rhythms glow. In the cyber fields we'll grow. We code the life, bite by bite. The firewalls reaching new heights. In this world of zeros and ones. Guarded secrets the future runs. In digital realms we unite. A network strong, shining bright. Encryption holds our crafted key. In the cyber. In layers deep, our defense to stand. Against the tide, we lend a hand. With every breach, we learn and mend. Unite, we build until the end. Innovate, adapt in every code line. As we move forth, our stars align. Secure the gateways, guide the past. Together we rise, our shadows cast.
Packing up my dreams in a weathered suitcase, heading out to find a new digital place. Small business hopes in the glow of the screen, starting new where I've never been. Every line of code writing a tale. In this journey there's no way to fail. Ones and zeros, the world unfolds, layer by layer, new stories told. Collaborate, innovate in the codes and breaks, crafting our dreams in this digital space. Every firewall and patch paves our trail. Together we'll ride as one sails the gale. Find roots and food and twine and fate to each cyber seal navigate. Embracing dreams, self and small, protecting visions through it all. Every breaching end reinforces our bond. Together stronger as we move beyond. With every line and strip to lay the ground. Building a fortress where hope is found.
Welcome to the weekly cybersecurity briefing. In the interest of making the best of everyone's time, cybersecurity briefings are always kept to 15 minutes. If you have any questions, please ask them in the chat and they will be answered after the briefing. Without any further ado, here is your host, Ron Trotto.
Welcome to our very first show of 2025, the Cybersecurity Briefing. 15 minutes or less. We cover relevant topics for small business. Again, super excited to have you here. First show of the year. So, what are we going to cover today? We are going to cover the top 5 things that you really need to get your business kind of in tune with. Get it on the roadmap. Get these things done. They are the top 5 things that you can do to enhance your cybersecurity health in 2025. So the first one's no stranger. Hopefully, if you've watched us at all, you're going to know what this one is, and that is training. We had well over the higher 80 percentile of attacks happen once again through basically social engineering. And the only way to really combat that is with effective cybersecurity training. Now, this should be an ongoing thing, but it astounds me how many companies do not even train at all. And these are companies that have employees that actually use computers, especially if an employee has access to email. The majority of the training is going to be around email, seeing that business email compromise, BEC, is still the most popular way the bad guys get into systems, gain credentials, and access. And that is through mostly social engineering. So, training is the way which we combat that. Training is very important. And again, we have our 2025 grant program for training. We're going to provide that training free of charge. If you're less than 10 people, just sign up. You're going to get approved, and we'll help you out with getting started with that. If you are over 10 people, we need to have a quick conversation just to make sure that the type of training that we're offering is going to meet your actual needs and insurance requirements. So look forward to getting some applications in on that for the new year. Number 2, again, should not be a shocker. 2FA or two-factor authentication, or MFA, multi-factor authentication. Now, authentication can be done of one of 3 things, essentially. Something you know, which is a password, etc. Something you have. If you remember the old fobs, if you have a phone with an app, that's something that you have. Microsoft considers your actual device something you have with Microsoft Hello. That's the way that works. Or something you are, which is your fingerprint, your retina scan, anything like that. Most companies are shying away because they don't want to have the responsibility of storing your biometric data on top of all the other PII that they already store for you. So, very important with 2FA that it is enabled for every critical system, meaning that any system that is critical to your business or stores your client's data in any way, shape, or form needs to have 2FA. Not just enabled, it should be a switch for the entire organization. So it should be impossible to create a new account without having 2FA, a requirement to have in place. Next, and this is a big task. This is not a sit down and kind of blow through it in a couple of hours kind of deal. That is inventory. Now, what am I talking about with inventory? And I'm not talking about your, your products and that kind of thing. I'm talking about all of your IT inventory. Now, yes, it's great that we have the computers and the servers and the networks and the firewalls and the switches and the configurations. All of that stuff is part of your overall inventory. But it's even more important to have an inventory of all the applications that you use, all of the vendors that you use, all of that contact information for all of them, and to have that in one area. Now, whenever we start a cybersecurity risk assessment, we start with an inventory. Why? Because that is the lay of the land. That is what we use to judge where risk is inside of a company. If we don't know where or what data is being used, how are we going to assess risk? Same deal for you. Why is this important, though? Why do you need to make this part of your plan? Because if you have an issue, an incident, this information is going to be critical to those that are helping you respond to the incident, whether it be an actual incident response team, let's say at a full-blown incident and it's actually caused impact, or you have ransomware or something like that is going on. This is going to shorten the amount of time that it takes to get things resolved by having a fully documented um, inventory of where things sit. And guess what? It is used as essentially soup starter for the rest of what you do. And that's kind of leads into a little bit of the next recommendation. And that is some sort of written security plan, something that takes that data that you have in your inventory and says, hey, if this thing is not working, who do we call? If we have some sort of incident, who do we call? That could be your cyber insurance provider. Typically, it starts with whoever your legal representative is, so that they can get the ball rolling under client privilege, so we can shroud those conversations under client privilege, and to kind of get the ball rolling in terms of having that plan in place. We've talked about plan all of 2024. I don't think there's an episode of the cybersecurity briefing where we haven't talked about having a plan. This is the plan. We can call it a WISP. We can call it incident response plan. There's a lot of names which have various degrees of detail and purpose, but really it's about having a plan. So first we document what we have, where it is, and then we have a plan that we can march forward with in case something does happen. And it doesn't need to be all inclusive and perfect the first time. Done is better than perfect in this case. If you can get some of the information in place, it's better than having none of the information in the event of an incident. And along with this, really need to start to identify inside of that plan things that are going to need to be replaced, whether that's software, hardware, services. All of these things have some type of expiration date on them. Your firewall that's been sitting there, is it licensed? Do you realize that firewalls need to be kind of renewed every year, or they aren't getting the latest data to help protect your business? So these things all put together will feed very nicely into another planning instrument that we use, which is also our fifth recommendation, and that is getting together an IT budget, understanding what that spend's going to be so that you have allocated funds for it appropriately. IT security is not one of those things that you're just going to kick the can down the road anymore. It used to be, oh, well, the computer's working okay. We can get away. And if we have to, we'll replace it when we need to. Unfortunately, those days are gone. Why? Because if you are running older software, that software, if it's no longer supported, is going to carry a lot of inherent risk with it, a lot more than ever before. Remember, things have changed drastically in the cybersecurity game. The IT of yesteryear is not the IT of today because we have so much writing on it. We run our entire businesses off of information technology. So we need to make sure that these things are in place and up to date, because if we're not, we're really welcoming at that point an incident. And again, having that plan in place is so important. And failure to plan is a plan to fail when it comes to things regarding cybersecurity. Period. End of story. So if we bring all of these 5 things together, it really make for a very strengthened security foothold for 2025. And again, these things are training. Apply. It's free. It's baseline training, but it's free. Get it done. If you're not doing it today, please, I implore you, I ask you, I even beg you, please make sure that you have training in place. It's the easiest thing to do. And I get it. I understand. Minimum wage just went up. Resources are getting harder and harder. We want to squeeze every moment out of the day that we can from our employees. But it's worth the 45 minutes of training, because it, again, is very likely that you will have an incident. Over half of the respondents to a recent survey for people with cyber insurance said that they had some sort of incident in 2023. We know that things got worse in 2024. So the chances of you not having an incident are a lot smaller than you having an incident. So please make sure that your staff is trained. Reduce that risk. It is the lowest hanging fruit that you could possibly take care of. So, training, number one. Number two, two-factor authentication. And one caveat on two-factor authentication: try to move away from SMS text messaging. I'm sure you've seen in the news recently, we've been informed that all of the carriers have had data breach around, um, where you were, possibly some text messages. It's bad stuff. And when the government comes out and says you need to make sure that your text messaging is secure by using apps such as Signal, and other such things, you really need to understand that there is a reason why this is being recommended. It's not great. So we don't want to put anything that has any type of security risk, even personally, into SMS text message anymore, because we have to consider that not secure. So if you're doing your banking through text message 2FA, please move away from that as fast as possible. I know not all platforms support, and SMS is still better than none, so it's not worse, but it's not the greatest thing in terms of keeping things secure. If you're targeted, it is very easy for bad actor to actually get access to a lot of that information. So let's not do that. We're going to dedicate a show to that next week. Number three, that inventory. And again, it is more about what applications you're using, what data you have, where it's sitting. That's the most important part. Yes, we would love to see the rest of it. That's fantastic. It's really going to help out in terms of an incident. But the data, the access, and the vendors that you're using for that are much more important to the overall scheme of things in terms of having that inventory. Again, number four, some type of written security plan that's around that inventory. So you've identified where that risk is. Now we need to have a plan of how we're going to deal with these things. And risk can be just an outage. What happens when email goes down? How do we transact business then? And again, all of this can be culminated into another really useful tool, and that is an IT budget. Understanding when equipment needs to be replaced, when software licensing needs to be renewed, getting a sense of that so that the proper business planning can be put in place. Again, these are not things that you just take off your budget and kick the can down the road with anymore. These are essential, like electric, to your business. Can't really operate too many businesses without the lights on. So with that, please, I implore you, the training again. Number one, easiest hanging fruit. The link will be down below for that application as well. But these 5 things will get you off to a great start on your cybersecurity journey. Any questions, always remember you can schedule 15 minutes with me. And with that, we are at just about 15 minutes. Let me see if there's any Q&A, because we always answer questions. If you're watching this as a recording, please put a question into the chat and we will respond to you. All right. So it doesn't look like we have any questions coming in. Oh, I have one, but I will send you a PM on that. Okay. And with that, we're at our 15 minutes. Have a wonderful first week of the new year, and we will see you again next week, where we're going to cover kind of the hidden dangers in SMS text messaging. Exciting things. Happy New Year, everyone. We'll see you next week.